First and foremost, a reason for this growth is shift in media buying from print and outdoor to this mass medium.
Okay.
And secondly, the growth of television per se. That's also helping this. Whereas print is not growing in terms of readership or in terms of whatever you call it, readership basically.
Having said that, don't you think even 40% of still investments are coming from print today? And just to put that in perspective, a lot was talked about digitization, phase 1, phase 2. 40 million households were added in the fold post-digitization. Yet, after speaking to a number of broadcasters, one gets the feeling that, one envisaged that the ARPU of the broadcaster would go up. But having said, I mean, that was the thought, that was what one was desiring, but that hasn't really translated on ground thanks to, the indiscipline of the LCO, so to speak, right?
No, why should we blame only to the LCO?
Okay.
It's more than LCO, we broadcasters are responsible.
But is it because you're confused?
Because they don't know really the ground reality.
Okay.
We sit in ivory towers and that's what we think we know everything. We treat somebody else as our enemy rather than looking at ourselves. Their fear is, first of all, we say last mile cable operator is responsible because he's not declaring properly.
Sure.
But at the same time, we say, if he doesn't show us, our advertising revenue will suffer. So that is your fear.
Sure.
So you are finding an enemy in LCO without knowing that the enemy of your inside, which is your fear of losing something, is stopping you from enhancing, making LCO as a partner rather than you are treating them as an adversary.
Mr. Chandra, you're one of the pioneers in the media space and in the entertainment space. Close to 24 years spanning in this space. I want to ask you a slightly sensitive question, which is that, Zee has got a large network, be it in the Hindi general entertainment space, be it in the regional space, be it in the news space, or be it in the sports space, right? You're all across, and one of the largest networks in the country. Having said that, Mr. Chandra, if I asked you to look back, you're doing very well everywhere, but there is no leadership in any particular genre. Is that something that you are concerned with?
We do not do a rat race at the cost of becoming number one and losing money. Okay. We are in the business to make profit for our shareholders. And are we leaders in profit making or not? That is what is my first priority to see on every single product.
Okay.
When we are even number 2 or number 3 in any genre, we would still be there also number 1 in profit making.
So you're saying across categories you're number 1 in terms of profit making, bottom line?
Yes. I would be surprised if there is any exception to it within Zee Network.
The other thing I want to talk to you about is, Zee Sports and the fact that I know there were ambitious plans. I've been tracking Zee for a while. Have had several conversations. Having said that, we all know that sports is an extremely risky and expensive proposition. We've all seen C-Star bet very heavily now on sports because they clearly have some large vision there. And we've also seen Zee Sport being very careful and somehow withdraw from, not being very aggressive in the sports space. Is that strategic?
We do feel that we want to work for the people who are shareholders and stakeholders rather than working for these sports authorities or boards.
Yeah, so sure, and that's a different story altogether.
Yeah. So
right?
we are our own strategy to follow on the sports programming. So we will remain in sports. We know what others are doing, what their strategies are, but we are working on a strategy in the sports business.
Really? Does it pivot around?
It would be very different than what we have been pursuing so far.
I want to talk about the news business, and I believe you have very strong opinions on how the news business is being conducted today. We've seen the emergence of several news entities in the recent past, and not all of them have news backgrounds, and news is not core to them. I want to sense from you on what your opinions are, because I believe you have a lot of angst against the number of news entities that have sprouted in the last few years.
The thing what I am saying is that I am suffering, or so is my other fellow publishers must be suffering. If they are not, good luck to them. But I'm suffering that my news medium products, despite all efforts and all, is not so profitable. My profit in the news business is at best 7-8%. That also probably people tell us that you guys run very tight ship. You don't give money to people. Conjuice. So if I again start spending lavishly, I would not have profit, it will be loss. Secondly, every other day I hear that you are not credible. Even the survey which we conducted amongst the viewers, they said, "Aap bike hue ho," in Hindi they said. So I'm saying that I'm not getting any gravitas, nor I'm getting money. Why? Who is responsible for this?
You?
And no, I'm responsible because I'm in that. You can tell me you have choice to exit that business. So why should you be in the business if it is not profitable? That is a point of view one can take. But then you are peeth dikha ke bhag rahe ho, you are leaving that. Do I want to live with that thinking? I think not. So all I'm saying is that these people, those who have come in news media due to certain other motivation other than running a media business as a serious affair or making a business case out of it. They may have some other motivation, and with the result, they are not being transparent and open about their own ownership of that company. You must get to the source of funding of news media, because news media also can damage much more than a bank which can take away people's money and misuse it, and people can lose their money. Here they can lose lot more than losing only money.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/etnow, and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at etnowlive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/etnow.